Aiden Heaven, the 18-year-old Manchester United wonderkid, has been at the center of concern following a serious injury during his side's dominant 3-0 win over Leicester City at the King Power Stadium on Sunday. The young defender, who has impressed in his early appearances for the Red Devils, was showing great promise in the match before the unfortunate incident that halted his performance. Heaven had been arguably Manchester United's best player on the pitch, but his game came to a sudden and painful end when he was carried off on a stretcher after what appeared to be a serious leg injury. The injury occurred when Heaven went down clutching his leg, signaling for help immediately. A 5-minute delay followed as medical staff attended to him, and the severity of the situation left many watching, including teammates and fans, deeply concerned. Sky Sports, covering the match, chose not to show a replay of the incident, which further heightened the sense of unease around the injury. As the stretcher was brought onto the field, Heaven was visibly in distress, and the entire atmosphere at the stadium shifted to one of worry for the young player's health and well-being. Reports from those present at the King Power Stadium noted that after the match, Heaven was seen walking out of the stadium with his foot in a brace, which offered some relief to those worried about the severity of the injury. Although walking with assistance, the sight of him leaving the field under his own power was a small positive sign amidst a moment that had initially seemed much more serious. Despite this, there was still considerable concern about the nature of his injury, with speculation about potential fractures or ligament damage. In the aftermath of the match, Manchester United fans and the footballing community eagerly awaited updates on Heaven's condition. According to injury specialists, the signs so far have been encouraging, and Heaven may be able to return to action within a few weeks, assuming he does not suffer from a more severe injury, such as a lower leg fracture. While the exact nature of the injury is still unclear, the early prognosis has been positive, suggesting that it might not be as grave as initially feared. This news was a huge relief for both Heaven and United, as the teenager has been a bright spark in the team's recent performances. Dion Dublin, a former United player, was working with Premier League Productions during the match and witnessed the injury firsthand. He expressed concern about the seriousness of Heaven's situation, noting how painful and worrying it appeared at the time. Dublin emphasized that the injury had the potential to be a major setback for the young player, but he remained hopeful that it would not be as severe as it seemed initially. Despite the injury scare, Manchester United's victory over Leicester was comprehensive, with Rasmus Højlund scoring his first goal of 2025 before Alejandro Garnacho doubled the lead. Bruno Fernandes sealed the win, securing 3 valuable points for United. However, the injury to Heaven overshadowed the victory, as fans and teammates alike were focused on the well-being of the young star. As for Leicester, their struggles continue, and this loss marked their 7th consecutive defeat. The Foxes, now under the management of former Manchester United striker Ruud van Nistelrooy, have been battling relegation, with their form showing little sign of improvement. Their inability to score, having netted just once in their last 7 matches, further highlights their dire situation. For Manchester United and their supporters, the hope is that Heaven will recover swiftly and be back in action soon. As a young and talented player, his development is crucial for the future of the club, and his injury serves as a reminder of the physical risks players face on the field. The upcoming weeks will be critical in determining the extent of the injury, and whether Heaven can return to continue his promising career at Old Trafford. Victor Osimhen's future has become one of the most talked about topics in football, with his recent performance and growing stature ensuring that the 26-year-old Nigerian striker is in high demand. Osimhen's current situation at Galatasaray, where he has been on loan, has added an intriguing layer to an already complex transfer saga. Having arrived at the Turkish club last summer, Osimhen's stay was initially seen as a temporary move due to complications in agreeing a transfer to other clubs. However, With an impressive run of form that has seen him score 26 goals in 30 appearances this season, his status as one of Europe's most coveted strikers is becoming undeniable. Galatasaray, though hopeful of keeping Osimhen, is now awaiting the player's decision about his future. The club's vice president, Abdullah Kavukcu, revealed that Osimhen will inform them of his plans in April. While there has been considerable talk about Osimhen's departure since January, with a potential exit looming large, his decision will have far-reaching consequences for the future of the club and for several major European teams that are eyeing his signature. The growing uncertainty surrounding Osimhen's next move has created a buzz in the footballing world, with top clubs already expressing interest. Osimhen's loan to Galatasaray came about due to a series of complications in his dealings with Serie A side Napoli. Despite being contracted to the Italian club until 2026, his time at Napoli appeared to be on the verge of ending last summer. Chelsea had been rumored as a potential destination for the talented forward, but the two clubs couldn't come to an agreement. The deal never materialized, and Osimhen remained with Napoli for the time being. However, this did not mark the end of his time in Italy, as Napoli's handling of the forward's future became even more difficult after Antonio Conte signed Romelu Lukaku, another star forward, thereby putting Osimhen's position at the club in jeopardy. With Napoli's pursuit of Lukaku, Osimhen's future appeared increasingly uncertain. His role at the club seemed undermined, and Napoli's hierarchy appeared willing to let him go. This sparked the move to Galatasaray, where Osimhen was able to revitalize his career on loan. Despite the rocky start to his campaign, he has flourished in Turkey, demonstrating the same skill and flair that he exhibited during his time in Italy. His impressive performances in front of goal have undoubtedly earned him the reputation as one of Europe's premier strikers. It is clear that, regardless of his current situation at Galatasaray, Osimhen's future is one that is closely tied to the interests of several of the world's biggest football clubs. The statement from Kavukcu, revealing that the world's top 5 clubs are already interested in Osimhen, only heightens the stakes of his impending decision. The likes of Chelsea, Manchester United, and other elite European clubs are expected to be at the forefront of the race for the striker's services. These clubs, in need of strengthening their attacking options, see Osimhen as a viable candidate to add depth and quality to their squads. While Galatasaray is optimistic about the possibility of Osimhen extending his stay, the likelihood of the player staying at the club long-term seems slim. According to Kavukcu, the player's arrival at Galatasaray was seen as a dream come true, but the player's ambitions are now likely to take him back to one of Europe's elite leagues. This is a sentiment echoed by several football pundits and analysts who believe that Osimhen's next move will be to a club that can offer him regular exposure to top-tier competitions like the UEFA Champions League. Ultimately, Osimhen's decision will depend on several factors, including the financial offers on the table, the sporting projects of interested clubs, and, crucially, his own ambitions as a player. His decision will not only determine his future, but could also have a significant impact on the transfer market. As the clock ticks down to April, when Osimhen has promised to announce his decision, the tension around his future is sure to continue growing. Whatever his choice may be, Osimhen's next chapter promises to be one of the most exciting in the football world.